Mary and Rose, welcome. Hi. Good evening, folk. Thank you for joining us. It's good to be with you. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Warwick. I'm out of South Africa, and I'm very happy to have you all with us. Along with us tonight, our special guest is a 50K affiliate. He's had 16 years network marketing experience. He's had 14 years full-time in network marketing, a master trainer. He's a father of 2 beautiful girls, and he loves to travel and have fun. Our guest tonight is none other than Chris Bailey. Chris, it's good to have you with us.
And I'm super excited, and I really appreciate you inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you. And we want to learn a little bit more about the person we see on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and maybe on Super Saturdays, and get to find out who Chris really is. And so I'd like you just to give us a brief introduction about Chris, the person.
Awesome.
Just a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, great. So basically, I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, born and raised. Pretty much lived in that area most of my life. I went into the Marine Corps to get myself out of trouble when I was a bad young guy around 19 years old. And so I joined the Marines and did 24 years in the Marine Corps. So I'm a retired Marine now. And after that, I had a really good job at Homeland Security. And that's when I got exposed to network marketing and started part-time. And after 2 short years, found out that this was my calling because I love to help people and love making a lot of money and love freedom. And so I got started 2 years later, as you said in the intro. I had so much success that I wound up quitting my full-time job, and this is all I do for a living now.
Wow. That is awesome. Now, just sort of following on that. I mean, I know that you've told us what you were doing before you were doing network marketing. In your mind, what is the most important thing for a person, a network marketer, to have?
There's a couple of things. One is definitely be relentless until you win. All right. As a matter of fact, if I take everything and put it in a nutshell, it's being relentless until you win. The thing about network marketing is there's so much room at the top. It's not like only one person can win like in sports. Here, it's unlimited amount of people can win. So my thought is if any other human can do something, then any of us can do it, right? So it's about believing, going all in, being relentless until you win. And being relentless, you're gonna hit the bumpy roads, and you're gonna struggle. It's gonna have ups and downs, but you just keep going and keep believing until you win. So I'm gonna say, be relentless until you win, and with the relentless comes belief and everything else. So that's the number one thing I'm gonna say is you just got to keep going until you win.
I'm glad you raised that because many network marketers give up at a very early stage. And we hear the figure of 3 months being quoted as the crucial time where people either make it or break it. And yet when they put effort into their own businesses or into their studies, they don't just put in 3 months or a couple of $100. There's a lot more that they put in.
Yeah,
and somehow we expect to get everything out.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And, I talk about that sometimes because, like you said, the average business, traditional business, the average business, 95% of them fail in the first year. And then the other 5 that do survive usually takes 5 years on average to break even. So they are willing to lose money, right? They put up a lot of money. We're here, we just buy some amazing products and use them. Where when you start a traditional business, you put up a lot of money. And it takes a lot of time, and people are willing to suffer through that. Where here, it's not like that. I think the issue that we run into is the average person is not super business minded, right? So the average person wants to get rich quick because, when they may have seen the lifestyles of people in the industry, something like that in the presentation, they kind of misconceive that you really do have to work and you really do have to give it time, all right? The good thing is you're not putting up a lot of money like someone starting a traditional business, or, you don't have to mortgage your house. You don't have to, put up all that money and give it all the time. Because like I know, if someone starts a business, they're going to work 8 days a week, 25 hours a day, and 366 days a year. We're here, we work it part-time, the best we can, and, just get a few signups here and there and just build your empire.
Now, as you've been mentioning the cost involved, the follow-up to that is, when you got started, did you ever feel like you wanted to quit?
I would say no. And only reason why is because I really understand the end game. Okay.
All right.
Now there's times where, I don't feel like doing stuff. I get lazy. I'm not consistent. As a matter of fact, I train on all these things, and the reason I'm able to train on them is because I'm guilty of them. Okay. So I know how people feel. I mean, I'm just a regular, ordinary person as well. But at the end of the day, and I'm going to give you, let's talk about specifically My Daily Choice, right? So at the end of the day, and one of the reasons why I joined My Daily Choice is because I saw Jenna Zerwagel making $1 million a month. And my thing is, and I go back to what I said earlier, is she's no better than I am. Okay, she might be more skilled. She might be, got in at a better position and all that. But at the end of the day, she's human and I'm human. So I can learn what she's done and I can do what she's done. Now, if I fall halfway short and make $500,000 a month, I probably would be cool with that.
That's true.
Yeah, but because I really understand it, and just like we were saying, a person with traditional business have to put up a lot of money where we don't, and the fact that I love the products. Let's, for example, I'm lazy, I'm inconsistent, and this has been me over the past year, to be honest with you. Once I moved to Florida, I've been working. I'm 55 years old. I needed a little break, right? And I got down here and been on a 12-month vacation that I'm actually coming out of tonight. So, I'm guilty of all that. But at the end of the day, I love the product so much, right? So I have never stopped using the products, and I love people. So I know I'm committed to helping everybody. So in order for me to help everyone, I have to have the success. But have I personally thought about quitting? No. Do I understand when people think about quitting? Absolutely.
The thing that gets me there is you say that Jenna's not better than you. And that should be a message for all of us, because the next person is not necessarily better than us. They may be more skilled, but not necessarily better. We can achieve those heights too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna even throw more on that. And again, part of my situation and being inconsistent and moving down here and going through the divorce and all that, everything that I've been going through. And make no mistake about it, I'm not making excuses. All right, my butt has just been lazy. Okay, so but you know if any of us, and that's including all of us, if any of us really gave this all we had, right, and we totally believe, and we are totally relentless, we all can be super successful. I'm gonna give you a great example, right, and this is one thing that I talk about in trainings a lot. So when we have a job, we do what our bosses tell us to do. Okay, so I'm gonna really get deep here. If we were on a job and our boss said, hey, we're losing business, and I know this is not what we hired you to do, but if we don't start making money, we're going to lose your job, okay? Because the company's going to go out of business. So I'm going to give you 1,000 flyers, okay, of 1,000 brochures, whatever you might call it in your market, and I want you to go on the corner and just hand one to everybody going by. We all would do that for a job. My question is, because we all can design a flyer for our business, how many of us would literally go outside and start passing out flyers for this business that can completely change your life, right? And the reality of it is almost nobody would do that, but we all can. Okay, so just little things like that, we have to kind of change our mindset. We have to do stuff that's uncomfortable, because make no mistake about it, going outside, standing on the corner, passing out flyers would be uncomfortable for me. Okay, but if I was on a job and they said, we're going to fire you tomorrow if you don't go out and pass out these flyers, we would all be out there just passing them out with big smiles on our face, and we would talk, excited about it. It's just, it's really, most of life is about mindset, and that's another part of it as well.
What would you consider the benefits of network marketing?
So once I got the bug, the network marketing bug, basically what I mean is when I fell in love with it is when I really understood it, okay? And you're going to see a lot of this conversation goes back to something we already talked about. So we talked about starting a traditional business. See, I've always had big dreams, and I still do, big dreams and big goals. And, most of us, when we think of our dreams and goals, we think about we have to start a business, right? Because nobody's typically going to get rich working a job, right? So, and when we think of starting a business, we think traditional business. And we already talked about it costs a lot of money, and the risks are huge starting a traditional business. So the benefit for me for network marketing, I could put up $200 and hustle and make more than someone making in a traditional business. And it's funny because I had this conversation with someone I just signed up over the past couple of weeks this morning. She owns a traditional business that makes, a couple of million a year. She has the staff. I told her, I said, my upline, Chris Robinson, makes, 6 figures a month, but his 6 figures a month has zero expenses. All right. So our money, so let's say, for example, if their business makes, let's say, $1 million a month, more than likely their expenses are going to be 900 and maybe 30,000. So at the end, they will make maybe 70,000 that month in profit. Okay. Where ours, and let's use Chris Robinson, and I know what he was making a couple of years ago, and it was more than what I'm going to mention, but let's just use 100,000 as a round number. When he makes that, he makes it expense free, right? We have no expenses. Not only that, but he does it employee free, right? So that business owner has to be at their job. They have to deal with employees. They have to deal with expenses. They have to deal with licenses. And now that I understand our business model, I said, man, this is all I'll do for the rest of my life. Why take the big risk, put up a lot of money when I don't have to? So at the end of the day, the big thing about network marketing is making unlimited income with very little to tiny amounts of risk.
But the commitment is something very real.
Yeah, the commitment is very real. I mean, the money's not going to fall out the sky, okay? But it's worth it, right? Because at the end of the day, let's say, and going back to traditional business and going back to the fact that we all do want to live a certain lifestyle, at the end of the day, that business owner is going to be probably in their office a whole lot longer than you're going to be doing your network marketing business. Okay, because they're going to be there doing accounting till midnight. Sometimes they're going to do all-nighters at the job, where our blitz might be working maybe an 8-hour or 16-hour day at the max, and that's really doing a whole lot, and that's maximum. But at the end of the day, you can do it from home, and you can do it at your leisure. So. But it does take commitment. Let me not make that take that lightly. The money's not going to fall out the sky. A great book called The Slight Edge. The Slight Edge talks about the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is so little. All right. We always think it's some grand thing, right? We think that, Chris Billy is super successful because he did something big and spectacular. No, all I do is show people the presentation, right? And then talk to them and see if they're in or they're out, just like everybody else, right? My thing is I just go through more people than a typical person, number one. Number two, my belief level is so big that even if you make $1 million a month and I'm just new to the company, you can't talk down to me because my belief of this company is so huge that nobody can waver my belief. Okay, so that's really the difference. A lot of times people think it's something big, and it's really not. It's just learning to do the basic stuff over and over and over and over and over again. And once you do it enough times, you'll be good like Jenna's Away.
And I think it's something we lose sight of at times. Is keeping it simple and just duplicating what others have done.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out, because we're talking about this, is the best people to introduce to your business are business owners. Okay, and from my experience, most people that are hitting the top of network companies, most of them, not all, but most, had owned some kind of business before. Okay, they had some kind of traditional business, and what happened was their business started owning them instead of them owning the business. So they started working there 8 days a week, and they thought that they would have all this success within a certain amount of time. They're 10 years in their business, and it's still not making them rich. They're not spending time with their family. Those are the people that have influence. They understand business, so they're not going to be the 90-day and quit person because they already understand that they have to work hard for business, right? So they have the right mindset. And then those people also have influence, okay? So they, people know them as being successful, so they typically can sign up a lot of people right quickly. And it's funny that I'm mentioning that because I just talked about the young lady I just signed up. She's already signing up people who never saw the presentation because of her influence. Okay. So those are really good people to talk to and to go, to prospect for your business.
Just something, just going through it all, as you said, keeping it simple. But when we think about MDC, I don't know about you, but I get excited. because I see possibilities. I'm just waiting for them to come out with toothpaste, you know that. Because come out with everything else is just unbelievable just to see, and almost now it's become a thing of when we have a meeting, what's next? But what excites you about MDC? Because you've been in a little bit longer than most of us.
I'm gonna tell you what excites me. First of all, Josh Owego excites me. I know him personally. We were in the fuel treatment business together. He and I were the two top people in the company years ago together, and I know how smart he is. Okay, so I joined after they had the big wave of the CBD. Okay, so when they started HempWorks, the company skyrocketed, became the #1 fastest growing company on the planet, the #1 provider of CBD. It's because Josh is so smart and brilliant to do something like that, right? So I always tell the team with My Daily Choice, which is different than all the other companies, because most companies have to stay within their product line. Right. In other words, like if you look at the health and wellness companies, they can roll out new products, but it's always going to be in health and wellness. Okay. I was big in the travel business. Yeah, they were rolling out new products, it's always in travel, right? Where Josh is always looking ahead. He's a visionary. So he's looking ahead at, okay, what product can we get before the rest of the world gets? Okay. So my true belief, and the fuel treatment is definitely going to be a big boost, but my true belief is there will be another CBD type of product, right? Maybe not in health and wellness, but a product that Josh is we're going to get that before the rest of the world knows about it, and we're going to become the world's #1 supplier of that product. So what I want to do, and what I want to encourage everyone else to do, let's build the biggest team possible. So when that new product rolls out, in the first month that it rolls out and our whole team gets excited about it and everybody's placing orders and they're selling a lot, your check may skyrocket. Let's say if you're making, $1,000 a month, you might start making $15,000 in that next month, because that's exactly what happened with CBD. So the thing that really excites me is knowing that we will have more products like that. And this is going to be a long-term company.
People will often refer to Amazon as the online company, but I'm waiting for the day when people are going to say, this is the MDC of online business, because I believe that is where we're going. And I know in Africa, it's difficult at times to say, oh, no, we don't have a physical market, with the exception of Nigeria, who's got an official office. We don't have another office. But for me, it takes more than an office to build a company. Mm-hmm. And so not having an office is not the end of the world.
That's right.
Yeah, and just to talk about that, piggyback on that, there's 2 parts of it go. Let's first start with, build in their tongue, right? You build the big team, because I know that our leadership is finding ways to get those products into your countries. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to get access to more products than you weren't before, all right, by not following, let's say, the company's guidelines per se, right? By whatever they send to the office. Yeah, so you probably can get body milk now where you couldn't be. Okay,
that's correct.
So yeah, so if you're not aware of how to do that, let's plug everybody in. I believe Kenya is doing it right now. All right, so I know we got some of our Kenya leaders on here that, maybe we can find out exactly what they're doing to get those products in. So you're actually getting expansion of products, okay? So it might turn out, and this is where I look at everything. I look at everything half full, right? So anytime something looks like it's negative, I twist everything to turn positive, okay? So let's figure out a way to make this positive and make it win. Let's make a lot of noise and have the company have to come back and open up the office, right? So that's number one. Number two, one of the top people in the company actually is Sonia Line, okay? Sonia Line is in Canada. we can't get Jack into Canada. She has gotten really good at building her business outside of Canada. Okay, so matter of fact, Canada probably always had less products than even Africa. Okay, so she found a way to work the business without having to build in her backyard per se, because let's call it what it is. Everybody on this Zoom knows people in Europe. Everybody on this Zoom knows people in United States. Okay, so make your list and let's start reaching out to them and let's build your empire even further out. Okay, and then that will also help you build your empire locally. So if you start making, 50K, 100K money, make no mistake about it, you'll be able to recruit more locally and build the business that way as well. So it'll just make it a win-win situation. But think global, and even just real quick, our biggest teams when we had the fuel treatment was all throughout Africa. Josh's was and mine was, okay? And I wasn't from Africa and neither was Josh. So what I taught my team back then is how to recruit people from Africa. Okay, because in the United States, we have pockets, there are areas, especially like in DC, I knew where people from Africa, what areas they mainly lived in. And I would teach the team, go to those areas, have your flyers, and start walking up to people and ask them, are they open to an opportunity? And that's how we build tens of thousands of people, teams, in multiple countries all throughout Africa. And that's probably why a lot of us are here today, from the relationships we built back then.
I saw the excitement in the chat, by the way. It was unbelievable when it was announced that you were going to be the speaker. I was excited about that. Let me ask you this question as a question, because I know we're running out of time, so we've probably only got a minute. But if all to do again, what would you change?
First, I wouldn't have taken my mini vacation, right? Because right when I was rolling, I hit 5K, 10K, 25K, 50K. Then I wound up going through a divorce, having to sell my house, moved down to Florida, took the break. If I had to do it all again, I would not have taken a break and would have kept that momentum going. Okay, so for me today, I'm relaunching my business. I'm having a business relaunch, right? So even though I've had many launches, I'm launching my business today at 8 p.m. in my time. So I'm gonna record it. So if anybody wants to see it, and I'm gonna just really keep it real with everybody and kind of give them the vision about where we're going. And I'm going on a 90-day hardcore run. So if anybody wants to partner up, you need me for presentations or three-way calls or anything, I'm there, okay? I'm ready to work that 8 days a week, 25 hours a day for 3 months.
Love it, Chris, and I'm sure we're going to take you up on that.
Yes.
It's been great. It's been absolutely great having you on the call. Fabulous to hear your positivity and the way you do things. And I hear, all right, there's a message. How can they reach you?
So I'll put, get my number. It should be in the chats. And you could do a WhatsApp with me or a Telegram, and you can contact me.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm sure this won't be the last time we reach out to you. I certainly hope not. And thank you once again for super informative time. And we look forward to interacting with you more.
All right. I appreciate everybody. I love everybody. Have a super, super, super great day. I just posted my number. I know we got less than a minute left. So, we're closing out.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. It was great seeing everybody. I love you guys, man. Let's make it happen.
Thank you, Chris. We are proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.